So Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. His mother and his father name was Yochai. His mother's name was Sarah. She was sterile for a long time. So the father, Yochai, he wanted to divorce his wife. Because the Gemara says, if he stays with his wife 10 years and he cannot have children, he's allowed to divorce his wife. So she started to cry. She was crying. Okay. She was crying, and she told him to wait. Right? Okay. Now, באמת Rosh Hashanah came. And Yochai had a dream. He was in a field, and he saw some trees. He was leaning on a tree, no fruits, dry. There was fruits, there's trees with fruits, trees without fruits. All of a sudden, a malach comes, and he starts to water some trees. Some trees that were dry started to give fruits. Some trees he didn't wet. He let them be dry like this without fruits. And some trees. Then he came to his tree, Balait Shelo. He came to his tree. He took out from the pocket tzluchit, a small thing of water, and he started to put next to the tree. And all of a sudden, the thing filled up with water. And the tree started to flourish and give water and give fruits and everything. Okay. And then he woke up. Okay? When he woke up, he had an idea already. What is it all about? He knew that the trees that were dry, it's ladies that cannot have babies. They stay dry. Some ladies they couldn't have babies, and they become pregnant. Right? This is the trees. Then he got his tree, which is his wife. He says it was dry, but Baruch Hashem, she's going to be pregnant. So he told his wife, and his wife says, "Tzach lishol chacham." You have to ask a rabbi. So nilech Rabbi Akiva. After Rosh Hashanah, they went to Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva said, "Exactly what you thought. It's exactly that." So Yochai asked him, "I want to ask you a question, Rabbi. Tell me, why when the malach watered the trees, he watered them with a pitcher? When he came to my tree, he took out a tzluchit, he took out a small jar, and he watered my thing." Okay? So he said, this is the jar that he took out was not water. זה היה הדמעות של אשתך. The tears of your wife. The tears of his wife. So he watered it with the tears of your wife. She didn't want to get divorced from you. And that's why you're going to have a baby together. רואה מה זה דמעות? כן, אתה רואה מה זה דמעות של בן אדם? איזה של אמת? רגע. So Rabbi Shimon, and then Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, he started to learn Torah, and he became what he became, right? The question is, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, he suffered 13 שנה במערה, 13 years in a cave, חרובים, and to right, he didn't have clothes even. He didn't have clothes, right? So he made the hole in the ground. It was stick there. Only for tefillah he used to come out and wear his clothes. Okay? למה? כן? יש אומרים, תזכר המצוות, יש אומרים, some say, because of Maaseh, the story that happened in the Gemara. What happened in the Gemara? There's a story that happened in the Gemara that there was somebody came to Bet HaMidrash. And he asked a question. Okay? He asked a question. Tfilat Arvit. Okay? Reshut or Chova? There was a time where there was a question if you have to do Arvit. Is it an obligation to pray Arvit? Or it's if you want, if you don't want? Tosfot says no, there's never such a question. Okay, we're not going to go to Tosfot now. But, so somebody came to Bet HaMidrash. He asked the question, Tfilat Arvit, Reshut or Chova? Reshut. As the Rabbi Yoshua was there, and he said, Tfilat Arvit, Reshut. Okay? Rabbi Yoshua. He says, okay. Then the rabbi came, Rabban Gamliel came. He comes, Rabban Gamliel, and they ask him, Amat Talmid Echad, one student got up, he says, Rabbeinu, Tfilat Arvit is Reshut or Chova? He says, Chova. Rabbeinu, איך חובה? Rabbi Yoshua אמר לנו שזה רשות. כן? Rabbi Yoshua says you don't have to do it. So he told them, get up, Rabbi Yoshua. Arvit is חובה או רשות? He said חובה. He said, רגע, אבל התלמיד הזה, this student told me that you said רשות. So he says, אם התלמיד אמר לך, if this student told you, I cannot lie. So I said רשות, it's true, I said רשות. So he told him, you stand up the whole time now. The kitzur, I want to make it very short. What happened was, the Talmidim, the rabbis, it's not Talmidim, but it's big rabbis, they got upset. He made them stand 4 hours like this. 4 hours. איפה הכבוד של התורה?
הבן אדם שיקר אבל.
לא שיקר. He didn't lie.
מה תלמיד לרב?
He לא שיקר. He thought it's a shoot, so he told them what he thinks. Now he made a mistake maybe, or maybe he doesn't want to contradict Rabban Gamliel. Okay, but why you have to punish? So just tell him you're wrong. Just tell him you're wrong. Why do you make him stand 4 hours? It's not nice. You humiliate him. It's כבוד התורה. Okay, בקיצור, מה שקרה, they got all together, and they denominated Rabban Gamliel. They took him off. Yeah. And after there was a machloket, they switched, and they didn't know who to put, and they put Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah, and then they said it's not nice. Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah was 18 years old, and Rabban Gamliel was older. B'kitzur, they brought back Rabban Gamliel. It's all balagan. Listen to this. At the end of the whole story, בסוף כל הסיפור הזה, at the end of the whole story, says the Gemara. Where is it? The Gemara is asking a question. One second. Who was the Talmid?
That said the whole thing.
ואותו תלמיד. Who was the Talmid? They told about Rabbi Yehoshua to Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Who was about Rabban Gamliel? Who was the Talmid? ואותו תלמיד, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai עבר. So some say, because he caused Rabban Gamliel tzar, that they took him off, and the story with Rabbi Yehoshua and all this thing, he had to go through the suffering of 13 years במערה, in the cave, בגלל שהוא גרם צער לרבן גמליאל, שהיה הנשיא של ה... כן? So to tell you, רבותיי, רבן שמעון, it wasn't easy for Rabbi Shimon, but when he came out מהמערה, 13 years, he was sitting in sand. החול, the sand ate up his skin. So his father-in-law is the first one to meet Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai when he came out. His father-in-law, Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair. So he told him, I want to give you a bath. You know, you suffered, I want to give you a bath. He was giving him a bath, and Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai was screaming, "Ay!" He says, why are you screaming? He says, because you're crying, and the tears are salty, you're burning my skin. He says, I'm crying because you're completely cut. If you wouldn't see me like this, you wouldn't see me the greatest. Why? He says, before I was just asking questions. You were asking me questions I couldn't answer. Today, you can ask me questions, I can answer you. 24 answers for each question. Wow. He says, if I wouldn't be there for 13 years, you wouldn't see Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Yeah. So he told them, yes, it's tsar. He suffered a lot. He had a small damage in his skin. But he says, Ayakedai, all this is worth it to become Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai.
Why is he called Bar Yochai?
Rabbi Yosef, they wrote something very interesting. You know, there's a famous song that everybody sings on Friday night. And if you don't sing it, you should sing it. Bar Yochai, Nimshachta Ashrecha, Shemen Saso Mechaverecha. This song, the Rashi Tevot, the acrostic of this Tevot, is Shimon Lavi. The rabbi who wrote it was a rabbi from Morocco that made a neder to go to live in Eretz Israel, Aliyah. On the way to Eretz Israel, he stopped in Tripoli. Louvre, Libya. He stopped over there. He saw the Jewish community. There was no rabbi. People didn't know what to do. Not brachot, not Shabbat. Didn't know. He says, what? There's no rabbi in this place. How can I leave them alone? He decided to do Atarat Nedarim. He did Atarat Nedarim. And he decided to stay to be the rabbi. But then he says, but my whole goal was to go to live in Israel. He says, you know what? I'm going to compose a song לכבוד רבי שמעון בר יוחאי. He composed בר יוחאי נמשכת אשריך, השם יששום מחבריך. We sing it every Friday night. האריזה עליה שם רבי שמעון לוי. Lavi, Lamed Bet Yud Aleph. הוא כתב את השיר. And we sing it every first. If you don't sing it, you have to sing it. שיר קדוש. הרב עובדיה אומר, הרב עובדיה says something interesting. ממתי? Where do you find that Ashkenazi is going to sing a Sephardi song? Never. Except this one. This one, Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, Hasidim, everybody sings this song. כן, למה? כי זה שיר קדוש. It's a holy song. It's all the life of Rabbi Shimon בר יוחאי in a resume. They put resume. So he says, עד כמה זה חשוב לקרוא את השיר הזה? עכשיו, if you, sometimes people, you know, they want to do kiddush fast. There's kid, okay. You eat motzi, you eat kazait, you eat the fish. Between the fish and the meat, sing the song. זה חשוב לשיר את השיר, זה שיר קדוש.